Hey Scorpio, welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you returning, welcome back. For those of you who are new, welcome. I am Nicole. Scorpio, while I have a holy second, we are going to get this video done for you for your weekly May 25th, 26th through the 1st, 2nd of June. Welcome to Gemini season. Welcome to a new start for Saturn. Welcome to Gemini new moon. Scorpio, this will be for your sun, moon, rising, and your Venus cross watcher. If you are here, welcome as well. Let's see. Scorpio, personal reads are open and available. Info is found in the description box below, as well as the about section of the page. As always, channel memberships later on today at some point, probably this evening, is kind of my game plan. We'll see. The new moon reading will come out to you. I don't know about for you guys. Me personally, I like to do it later in the evening. It's just, I don't know. It's just like the wind down for me. I enjoy that time frame for some reason. So there's that, but we'll get that out. So channel members, the link to join the channel memberships is, I believe, part of the community post that I've posted in the past. So you can go scroll through there if you're not a channel member. Make sure that you subscribe to or become a member of the spiritual, I think it's called the Spiritual Healing Series and Higher. That is where those videos, excuse me, keep losing my voice. That is where those videos are. I've been fine all day. I don't know where this is coming from, but it's coming. Scorpio, I'm gonna say per spirit here, the eternal child. Scorpio literally came rolling out of the deck. Childlike wonder of life and reality is what I'm hearing. Scorpio, we are gonna go through I'm waiting on spirit here. Work, love, and life. That's a little different than what we usually do. Work, love, and life. We're gonna break it down into categories, I guess, for this week. So, okay, we're gonna roll with it. All right, Scorpio, let's get down to it. And I also want to tell everybody, thank you so much for the well wishes in regards to my health. I think we're getting some answers. It's gonna require a couple more things and a couple more visits, but I think that it's getting narrowed down. And the one thing that I've said time and again is, I've kind of made my jokes about me being God's guinea pig, if you will, that I go through these things so I can learn, so I can help others. And this week was no different. I'm going to share this with you. Went into the doctor, got some information, required more testing. Wasn't the best news, but the reasons behind things started to make more sense by the end of this past week. And in turn to that was, pretty sure the dog is on the hunt for the groundhog. I'll tell you that story too. By the end of the week, I had been to a couple of events and things that I had to participate in. And in these moments, I started having conversations with these people, and they started telling me about something very similar to what I've been experiencing. And they're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle this. This is something I've been dealing with. I've just accepted it all these years later. And me, being me, I'm like, there's a reason for this. Let's get down to it. So in time, I am excited to be able to work on myself as a way to hopefully teach you all more. I'm always excited for those opportunities, even if it means I'm carrying some burdens, because we grow from that space. It's interesting to me to watch it play out. So I don't think it's going to be a rough road. I think it's going to be a learning curve. I think it's a time of purging physically. Okay. So, yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens, but I don't know, maybe some of you can relate to that. Groundhog this morning, I finally had an opportunity. I've been really busy this week and finally had a chance to go take a walk around my yard and realize that some critter was deheading all of my flowers. And I happened to walk around the back side of the house, and guess what? there's the baby groundhog back there. And I'm like, where in the hell did you just come from? And God bless him, he ran behind a bag of rock salt that I need to put away. I need to put a lot of things away. And I had the neighbor come snag him, and he screamed. I didn't know they screamed, but he picked him up and took him out of the area. But I don't know. Let's see. Let's start off with the groundhog. What's the groundhog in this deck? You know, you guys, I was going to do this as a live, and I didn't, but bear with me, right? Bear with me here. I want to see if there's a groundhog in this deck, and if there is, I will pause this. Or wait a minute, do I need, no, it's right there. I need to get my life together here. Let's do it this way, it might be easier. Let's see if there's a groundhog. What's the message? And I'll share this with you if there is one, because the groundhog happened right before I came in here to sit down and do this with you all. So it could hold some sort of meaning for you as well. Because I've done a bunch of other videos this morning for the other signs, and then I was like, you know what, go take a minute, go take a walk, go ground. And I did, and that's when I seen it. I knew I was coming back in here to do Scorpio's video. So let's see. Spider, I'm not seeing no groundhog here. Hold on a second, Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio, I wanted to grab this and take a look at what the meaning behind the groundhog is. I really am not sure off the top of my head. And it says that groundhogs are a symbol of resilience, adaptability, and the importance of balance. Their behaviors and habits offer a mirror to our own lives, showing us how to navigate challenges, honor our needs, and embrace these new beginnings. And we do have these new beginnings coming, Scorpio. They're very important. And it says its appearance can be a sign that you will start learning something new. And it's also about going deeper. And I think that, you know, the fact that he was a baby groundhog too, he was a cute little sucker, really, in the grand scheme of things. Have you ever been chased? Do you know they'll chase you? Groundhogs will chase you. Here's your kind of like the Discovery Channel for you today when it comes to animals. You're welcome. So he was a baby, right? He was learning. He's learning that if you go to my yard, you don't get to eat my flowers. He ate my flowers. He got away with it once. He won't get away with it again, kind of feeling, right? He's got to go. So it just, you know, they're burrowing, it says, is a vital survival method for groundhogs. Predators find it far more challenging to get to creatures when it's snuggled safe in its den. When danger appears, it's a hasty retreat occurs. They've got sharp claws and teeth waiting to respond. And Scorpio, you've got that stinger, right? Tucked away until it's necessary. I told you he was growling whenever my neighbor picked him up and with gloves and was carrying him off. Cute little guy. I told him, I said, you're cute, but you can't be in my yard doing this. This is not okay. So you could be tidying up the things around you as well. That's a woodchuck. So groundhogs and woodchucks apparently have some similarities in their spiritual meaning to Scorpio. It says little appears in Native American stories about the groundhog, but for one character in the New England area, the myth tells of a woodchuck who adopts a cultural hero, becomes a wise, patient teacher, and a helpmate to good-hearted people. So I don't know why that one stood out to me, but... And then if you're in the U.S., right, we have Groundhog's Day, which is February 2nd. And it says it means spring has yet to arrive. The custom becomes so popular. Groundhog's Day, Punxsutawney Phil in Pennsylvania. So it's like a prediction. Predictions. Have you predicted something, Scorpio? We're 9 minutes into this, holy shit. That is starting to come to life, something that you've seen coming true. You knew it would come to be and or come to pass. So let's get you an animal card. Let's do this a little different. I do kind of wish I would have done this as a live now to interact with you all, but it is what it is, right? Trust your intuition, Scorpio. Let's see. Or the swan. That was quick. Oh, there's 3 of them. We're gonna put these in. Too many. All right, Spirit, this week, May 25th, 26th through June 1st, 2nd for the sign of Scorpio. It's Gemini season. If you are a Gemini with Scorpio placements, happy birthday to you. the turtle, and hummingbirds. I keep seeing hummingbirds. I love it. Birds. I've said to you guys for a while, birds, 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 right? Spider, the turtle. What does Scorpio need to know this week, Spirit? What's their overall? Give us an animal for the sign of Scorpio, please, for Scorpio. Well, that was super fucking quick with the black egg and the cobra. Scorpio, you are a snake. You transform. You do all the things. That's air energy, right? Or no, what is that? Why can't I remember? No, that's not air. That's fire. The cobra is fire, right? Or is that? What am I doing? Yeah, it's fire. The cobra is fire energy. Pause, waiting, the inner teacher. There's something here, Scorpio. Something is teaching you something. You are becoming, when the student is ready, the teachers are peers. Scorpio, you're becoming, there's an inner teacher happening within you. There's a humbleism that's happening within you. The cobra represents a teacher, a spiritual guardian. The cobra hovers and watches, ever present, ever protecting, ever loving. The essence of the cobra is found deep within us in the form of the inner teacher and manifest externally in those special guides who have led us along our path. What would it feel like to be a student again? What are you ready to learn? Remember the old Remember the old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. When in balance, we become a student of life. We are humble and we are wise. When we are out of balance, we know it all and we're egocentric to things. And to bring us into balance, we need to take a class and start to study life again. Now, this black egg, Scorpio, I'm going to read this out to you as well, and it's funny. That came up the other day. I'll put it that way. It came up the other day. So what does this black egg, look at this card. I love Kim Cran's work. She's just amazing. How pretty. I love it. The circle of life. Speaking from an authentic voice and the truth, Scorpio, the black egg contains one of life's essential treasures, the truth. Inside of it resides no confusion, excuses, small talk, noise, or lies, not even white ones. This living and breathing vessel harbors only that which rings true. When this essence is in balance, we speak slowly and clearly. We are drawn to activities like writing, reading, teaching, singing, or perhaps public speaking. Sounds draw us in, books draw us in, the concept of truth itself draws us in. We start asking questions like, what do I know to be true about myself? And what is true about the world? When the energy of the black egg is not yet accessed, we speak from an unsure place. We say things others want to hear, we gossip or repeat stories to justify our subpar behavior. We might even try to convince ourselves that we have no inner truth at all. The energy of the black egg hovers and waits for us to reconnect. It's available at every moment, in every situation. It is the epicenter of truth. It is the birthplace of our voice. The black egg, which is the fifth chakra, the subtle essence of this card resides at the base of the throat. And I started choking up right before when I was trying to talk in the beginning. At the, I can never say, Vishuddha chakra. The ancient sages saw this center as the hub that governs our speech and expression. Vishuddha translates as especially pure. The balance of the center is important for all of us, but is especially essential for writers, editors, musicians, and teachers. Be ready to be a guide, Scorpio. You are learning, and it gives me the chills. I said, I am going through these things, I am having these health experiences, right? And here we are with that black egg. We are learning and we are teaching. And 1414, it's no different. You are having some experience right now, Scorpio, this week and in the coming months that is going to do something very similar. You're going to take on this new approach. I remember talking to one client, and we've emailed a few times, and if you're here, she knows who she is. The very unique workings that she does. This is her time, I'm going to say. This is where this really does happen, where the expansion is necessary in regards to health, life, and well-being. This is death and rebirth, Scorpio. these things they are going on for you on a very specific internal level. The eternal child within coming online. You know, maybe there was like you wanted to be a nurse when you were growing up. Maybe you wanted to speak the truth. Like, I'll tell you, growing up, I wanted to be a lawyer. I was 14 and telling my mom, and she's like, what? Like, that's the thing you want to do? Absolutely. And when I made the move to where I'm at, it was for the purpose of going to law school. I had no idea at that time that my truth, those arguments that I would make on that front would be so much different than me ever becoming a lawyer of all things. And now I look back at it and hindsight says, I was supposed to speak, but not like that, because not a lot of people necessarily listen to who wins the argument. Winning an argument is egotistical. Who the fuck cares? Right? Who the fuck cares? The biggest lie wins the field? Sometimes, not always, right? I've had experiences on both sides of that fence. The system isn't always just. But also don't, Spirit, thank you. Don't sit in victim mentality of it. Carry on. Right on. Put your feather in your cap and call it macaroni and keep rolling. Where the hell that came from, I have no idea. Spirit, doing its thing. Scorpio, that's the importance here. The important, Spirit, the important subject matter is your truth. It doesn't need to be argued. It doesn't need to be anything. It just needs to be spoken, and you need to feel it within. You need to know, and you need to acknowledge that, right? Everything else is whatever. All right, Spirit, let's get down to it. What else for Scorpio this week? There's some big heralding changes that are all for you. All for you is what I'm hearing. Some of you need to change your bra. And when I say that, what I simply mean is, God, the things that, literally the mother. So one, if you are that mom, oh my God, the things that come out, the creator, I couldn't make it up if I wanted to. Simply put, if you are that mom, and I was that mom for a long time, who I was still wearing maternity shorts around because you buy for your kids, you don't buy for yourself. Go buy yourself a good supportive bra. Go spend some extra money on yourself. Like, go, if your back is hurting, if your shoulders are slumped, like whatever. I mean, I do it just because shitty posture, right? But like, make a commitment to yourself, to nurture the self. The mother, the vow, the creator. She is the empress. She is the giver of life. The egg, right? Everything. Snakes lay eggs, don't they? I think so, right? Yeah. Yeah. Do they? Or do they just... I have no idea. I don't even know where we're going with this. We're just... I don't know. Never mind. I don't like snakes. Either way, the egg, the pearl, the inner wisdom, the vow to oneself, the creator of life, to bring in peace, to bring in harmony. It is ever so needed right now, I'm hearing. And look at this. At the bottom of the deck, the Ace of Swords, the Ten of Cups, the Queen of Swords. Speaking a truth from the most nurturing sense. It's being your own best friend, Scorpio. It's maybe being the best friend to somebody else, too. You think about this. Like, when we have... was this Taurus, I think, that I did the reading for, and it came out, like, they had a friend. The storyline went a little like, oh, they had a friend, and their friend's like, oh my God, those people are so mean to you. And that family is like, oh my God, your friends, they don't have the best interest. They don't love you the way we do, right? It was a whole, like, back and forth kind of fucking thing. Scorpio. Point being here that it's like, you want your best friend to be raw with you, right? Like, you want them to go, Scorpio, those shoes look like shit on you. Do not wear those out in public. And you're like, but I really like these. Well, they're so 10 years ago. Put them away and get yourself something new. Scorpio, get rid of that old comfy worn-in bra because it's not putting your boobs where they belong. Okay? Whatever that thing is for you, okay? Like, I don't know why the bra came up, but just do know, like, spend some money on yourself. Take care of yourself. Allow yourself to get a new pair of flip-flops this year. Buy yourself a new bra. Take care of yourself. Like, just do it. The mother, the maiden, and the crone. I don't know why that came up. 20:02 on the clock. Take care of yourself. But point is, you want, I don't know where the hell I got back into that. Point is, you want your person, your friend, your coworker to tell you the truth, right? This is Gemini energy communication. We are in Gemini season, so we can be creative. Like, I think about Gemini, I think about my daughter. She's a Gemini. Artsy. God, is she artsy. She can paint and do, I mean, you guys have seen some of the artworks I've had hanging in the background before we made the move and stuff of hers. I got a picture of Stitch hanging out in my living room that she drew and painted. Like, that's her thing. Scorpio, you're diving into your own personal creativity. 22, I said 2020 on the clock. Look at that. 2020, between 2022, what were you trying to cultivate? Thank you, Spirit. What were you trying to cultivate during that time? And when I even go back to the law school thing, that was back in 2020 for me, right? So there's like, and again, you know, I know some of you said, Nicole, I think this message is for you too. Sometimes, yeah, it is. Other times it's not. But I want to say to you too, that as a reader for myself, and I think this is important for you all to know, as a reader myself, it's not just about like my experience. Like, I had my experiences so I can teach you. So when I say, hey, I was doing this thing back at that time frame, that's what Spirit's bringing up for me so I can interpret it for you, right? So I can do the interpretation for you. That's the way that my guides and I work together. So go back 5 years, Scorpio. Go back 6 years, Scorpio. Go back 30 years. Saturn is moved to Aries, right? What were you creatively working on? What was important to you? I can tell you at 10 years old, I was gardening with my grandmother. Guess what I started this year? As I even say, it's gardening. Is it for me? Sure, it's for me. It's also for you. Go back in time. Go back in time, Scorpio, because you have something to learn here. You have something new to do. There is a new return. Like they always say, like the trends come back around. Like, I remember being, I don't know, in the 7th grade and bell bottoms were the thing, right? Or the flared leg jeans, 22 Scorps. My mom's like, oh my God, we wore those in school. I can't believe that my kids are wearing those now, right? Guess what? Maybe this year and this new school year starts, your kids are in flared leg jeans too. You know, we're going, oh, bell bottoms again, right? It's like 1969, it's like Woodstock. But literally, I keep saying twos. Look at this shit. What rolls out of the deck, Scorpio? 2 of Swords in the reverse. 2, the High Priestess. You're getting and clarity comes with that 2 of Swords in the reverse, Scorpio. You're starting to see the path forward. What you've always known, I got the chills. What you've always known to be the truth here is coming alive. And the card that was sitting at the underneath of this deck, and it was sitting up over there for the longest time until I moved it, while your reading has been happening, your intuition. Who is the High Priestess? She is your intuition. She is the things that you know. She is a spiritual teacher. She is a mother. She is still a mother. She is all-knowing, all-seeing, and she gives you the information that you need as you need to know it. If it's a vital source of information that is needed in the moment, Scorpio, you are going to get the information that you need, but Spirit needs you to do the work. Like, there's going to be some mystery to these breaks of things that are happening. King of Wands could be a Taurus. Jesus, cheese and crackers. Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Right? Some conviction of their own personal truth may be coming to the surface. 2121 could be of importance here, Scorpio, for you this week as well. You know, A minor, G. I don't know. What is the frequency of G? I'm hearing G minor, right? Is this the pound? I'm not a musical guru here as far as like reading music and whatnot. Let's take a look at this. A lot of spiritualism in symbolism this week, Scorpio. A lot of that. G minor. What's the pound thing? I don't know. I don't know how to read music, so I don't know. Some of you could be reading music, doing music. It's G sharp. Is that what it? G sharp. Let me see. G minor on a spiritual. Endings and beginnings and ends on this spiritual. I want to read this to you because it's important. Spiritual sorrow and anguish, heart-sore, emotional state of suffering. As the key, Power saw the key of G minor as the key for the sentimental, but not the passionate. It affects, covers sadness and sometimes quiet and sedates of joy. It's about a failed scheme, discontent. Scorpio, it's an acceptance. Thank you, Spirit. It's an acceptance, King of Swords here, of some truth, like something that you knew, right? You're learning something. I can taste chlorine or Clorox too. I don't know why. Four of Wands. That maybe the happiness that you thought would once be, you're moving on from a place that you thought the happiness would once be. Yellow is significant. But this isn't the vow of okay, Scorpio. Moving on. Lots of yellow. Lots and lots of yellow here. Commitment. The vow is not something that keeps control. Like, you take a look at this, it seems like a dastardly hand is really what I want to call it, right? Like, you take that hand is gripping tightly the wrist, right? It's clipping the bird's wings, essentially. It reminds me of Martina McBride with a broken wing. She still sings, man, you ought to see her fly, right? Like, he clipped her wings in that song. That grip, right? That grip that something and or somebody had over you, right? And look at that. The kiss came out in the reverse. You see those hands? You know, it's like it shows the control mechanism, Scorpio. When we go from this where it appears to be soft and loving to a matter of control, like it's got its vices on you. And the mother's hand, right? The mother's hand doesn't control. The mother's hand is gentle and it's nurturing and it's supportive. It is where creation begins, right? We give something the space to bloom. We give something the space to grow. We create healthy environments for the things that are important to us. We work to sustain those environments. Literally, Gemini, the Lover's card, and Scorpio, the next, I got the chills. Oh my God. The Lovers, Gemini season for 1, right? Cancer, Chariot energy for 2. You are making choices to put the past behind you, right? As I say that, Spirit's going to go behind. So the 2 of Wands, again, choices. Some of you could very well be leaving a fire sign in the fucking dust, who tried to hold control. 4 of Pentacles. You know, again, look, like, you see what I'm saying here? The Knight, the kiss in the reverse, and the vow, to me, is symbolistic of the 4 of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles, right? Like, here, let me give to you. Here, let me hold control. So I feel like that's the extra validation to whatever this fire sign might be, where they, and King of Wands in the reverse, right? Controlling, opinionated, tyrant kind of SOB. It's on their terms. They're possessive about certain things. Well, get the fuck over it. You know, like, there it is. Get over it. Knock it off. You know, you got to share. You got to play nice is really what I want to say to whomever you're dealing with there. And pardon me, cross watcher, if you're here, maybe you're dealing with a Scorpio who's being controlling, because Scorpio is a fixed sign, right? So in their negative side, there's a Scorpio too. So we're not knocking it just one way or the other. Point being here, somebody, Scorpio, being choked again, most likely you, is, I've had enough of this. I'm moving. I'm making a choice. I'm hearing bypassing this. Do you hear that car alarm? Let me make sure. I don't think that's my car, but let me go make sure. Not my car. Funny, I got to the door to look out, and lo and behold, it stopped. Somebody's car alarm could be going off. I was coming back through the room and I have a laundry basket and the cat's in it looking at me like, you didn't see me here, right? Anyhow, this Chariot, Scorpio, is you moving on. The Four of Swords, healing, judgment, making that judgment call. Some of you may be questioning if you've betrayed yourself by staying a part of something. It's like a difficult ending, not quite the way you wanted it to be. You know, do we ever invest into anything in the hopes that shit's going to go south later? No, not at all. But it's definitely time. It's a level of defeat. This is Gemini. Again, Gemini season. There's a new beginning, and that Saturn to me has become this, I don't know, I guess on a reading level, but also on a spiritual level, such a planet of impact. I really want to call it impact. And I've seen this play out, and you literally have the 20 and then the 10, which is 30, and it's the last 30 years is what is karmically clearing, right? I think for the majority of you, you're running on positive change, and it's like you knew certain things were coming. It was the inevitable, maybe for people that you know, people for yourself, but in this, like, you're taking acceptance, accountability, responsibility, so that you can put what you've learned into action to move forward into life, right? So it's like the judgment, you've called judgment on, or are calling judgment on the people around you too, as to how they show up. And it's like, Scorpio, surprise, surprise, if it gives you the slightest tinge of fuckery or treachery, you're like, we're gonna nip this right now. And wherever you gave grace before, right? Wherever you gave some sort of love or grace or excuses for another person's behavior, I feel like you're very prone to calling them out and going, I'll move on to the next thing, thank you. And you're not entering any situation on any avenue going, I intend to leave you high and dry. Like, there may be misunderstandings for people who are not aware that, like, how do I put this? They may not be clear on how you clearly communicate. Like, they may not be, thank you, Spirit, they may not be used to people who communicate clearly and authentically. And I also think that there is this like full energy that comes in with you, where maybe before you would have said, somebody would have asked you something and you would have been like, well, I don't know, we'll see. Where you are just, Spirit's like going, you're just going, you know what? And again, go back to, I don't want to. I think I said, was it last week, the week before, something like that. No, thank you. But you're also like, you're not giving an excuse or a story, Scorpio. You're just like, this is what I've experienced. This is why I'm doing this. And you can understand it, not understand it, but it's something about your ability not to tell a story, not to give somebody background, but for you to express a truth. 33 on the clock. It's about you being able to express a truth. And it's like, you could call it breadcrumbing in a sense. And as I was going to say, the breadcrumbs are kind of like a trail, Scorpio, that you're actually leaving behind as words of wisdom. And as I was going to say that to you, I went to move this one deck to make room, and it says chew. And it says, deep thinking, remember, solve the puzzles, code words. The words in which you are saying to people, and it's not that you're playing head games or guessing games, but if you say to somebody something about, I don't know, pink shoes. Horrible example, but we're going to go with it. Maybe the fact that you use the term pink shoes is the thing that's like, it was almost out of character or very not part of a normal conversation, but that was the term that you used. They go off and have an experience and pink shoes pops in their head. It's like you're planting seeds that is stopping them in the future to ponder what was previously said. And even for you, Scorpio, as you are doing this for the world around you, it is also something that is happening for you equally. For you, though, I feel like there's a connecting of the dots, thank you, Spirit, from the, like, where you are in this moment, where you knew one day that you would be thinking about, 30 years back, what you wanted to do with your life, if that's where you were at that point, and going, what does this new thing look like? Because you're able to, like, bridge some gaps. You're connecting the dots, right? It's like, you're pulling one of those little puzzles all together. It's like connect dot 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, and then you've got this really neat picture that you can color or play with or whatever. You're connecting those dots, Scorpio, and so as you are leaving these seeds or these breadcrumbs or whatever you want to call them, I really like the term seeds better, for other people to pick up on and kind of store in their, groundhog kind of cheeks, what they store food in their cheeks. Have you ever fed a groundhog? I've fed groundhogs. Groundhogs can be cute though too. They like cheese and pepperoni, in case you ever want to know. If you can tame one, they like cheese and pepperoni. But high frequency in the left ear. Because groundhogs keep coming up. I forgot about that as I said that. So it's they're storing resources, right? You think about groundhogs or squirrels, they store resources in their cheeks. They're building things up because it's like a power pack punch. When they need it the most, there is that reserve, right? It's storing up things that you know that you are going to need. Whether this is money, this is food, this is energy, this is time, this is, it comes in these bursts, Scorpio. It's like a burst of light comes in and it's like, woof, it's exactly what I needed at this time. Woof. I feel more empowered. Woof, like it's better. Like, I don't know what this woof thing is, but woof, it just feels good. It's like, whoa, where'd that come from? Like all these blessings, raining down on you. It kind of reminds me of like a genie in the lamp going, toof, there's that thing you asked for. And poof, there's that thing you asked for. Oh, by the way, poof, right there. And it's like watching all these things pop up and you've got all these choices around you. And it's like, now what do I do? All these things are like leading into the next thing, Scorpio. Gosh, I hope that's all making sense. This is going to be a long reading. Holy smokes. There's magic in the air, Scorpio. I like it. Third house, communication. There you go. Mercurial, right? Mercury energy. That is Gemini. Most definitely. They are chatty Cathys. They enjoy life. They want to be communicative. Community and communication, Scorpio. 13 and a 5. You, the moon, you're coming out. I said this for, was that Taurus? No, it was Gemini, Scorpio. You might have Gemini placements. Chiron, heal. You are, listen, you're being invited to things. The moon, Scorpio. You're walking in a room. You may be very Gemini bold of the positive traits of Gemini right now. Very, like, you can see I've got this electric sort of energy about me at the moment. Like, ooh, here it is. Where you show up and just all of this enthusiasm. But there's a part of you that you're showing to the world that they are intrigued by. Excuse me, goodness. You may be more chatty than normal. You may be going places after a period of a much needed rest. Much needed rest, Scorpio. Because you're healing. You're healing yourself. You're healing people. You're carrying the word forward. People are looking at you and they're like, where did this person just come from? Scorpio, who? Hello, Scorpio. Where did you, how have you been around for the last, 30 years in this world and nobody knew you were here? I've used the term in spirit again. Thank you. You're coming online, Scorpio. How did they not notice you? Because you quietly sat back in the background of that big old room, sipping your coffee, your tea, your mimosa, your whatever, your OJ. Oh, so quietly and mysteriously, nobody noticed. 39, 39, 12, 12. 3, 3. 6, back to the past. How did they not notice you? How long have you been here? Where have you been hiding out at? We've needed you. Where have you been? It's the destination in which you're arriving, Scorpio. That chariot, you're arriving to this sense of community, this sense of belonging, this sense of connectivity with this Lover's card of people around you. And it's like, you are exactly what we've needed. And for the, oh, Spirit, ooh, for the next 20 years, Scorpio, this is your job. This is your job. The way you show up is going to be lessons and beautification and stories to tell your children and grandchildren and your great-grandchildren about how life does not begin the moment that it is conceived. And that's a wiry point there as I say that, right? That's a point that we could take a few different ways, so you take it as it fits. And I'm certainly not trying to cause a shit stirrer here. But life does not begin at that point. Life is the moment in which, and spiritually, metaphorically speaking, I guess, metaphorically speaking, thank you, Spirit, that in which you begin to live. You know how to begin to live. That's when your real life begins. Just because you're breathing doesn't mean you're living. To breathe is to exist. To love is to live. Whoa. Powerful, powerful fucking words. To breathe is to, I need to write this down. To breathe, if it's all right, to breathe is to exist. To love is to live. Wow. What a statement. What a statement by Spirit. Holy fucking Toledo. Scorpio, let's dive into these alchemy cards. What are we working with here, Scorpio? And we're going to touch base on this Lover's card, the Chariot, where you're going. This is probably one of the most impactful messages we've had for you in a while. I've got the chills, and I know this is a longer message, so bear with me here as it's fully necessary. Look at that. Saturn, do you see that sheath? I talked about Scorpio a little bit in Taurus's reading, and it makes me go back to this nurture card series. And I'm actually going to pull it up because in it there's a sheath of wheat, or there's a sheath, and then there's the wheat in that particular card, and it reminds me of that card very much. So it's like, let's I told you it's symbolic, right? A lot of synchronicities or numerology or whatever, symbology that you will see in the coming month, Scorpio, and you need to pay close fucking attention. Spirit is very adamant on that one in case I needed more emphasis. Close fucking attention, Scorpio. They've got fucks to look at, literally the last card in the deck, the last one to know, the last one to be seen. Scorpio, look at these two cards. Look at the similarities. To the duality. From one side, there's a duality there, this side to this side, right? And then right behind that is the lightning. Scorpio, that's also 13. That is the snake. That's the, well, I wouldn't say the Ouroboros in this case, but the egg. Look at this. I may read this one to you. And yellowing, I talked about the yellow. Yellowing, some of you could have dealt with jaundice as children, or maybe you have a child dealing with jaundice as well. There it is. And then the lightning, you look at that. There is the snake. There is the egg. Now you look at Kim Cran's deck, right? These are both her decks, though. Look at that. The black egg to the lightning of this egg, you see the cracks in it. The yellow, there's the snake, right? And then you look at the vow, you know, that yellow energy. Look at that. Same, very similar cards here, Scorps. There's an importance in that energy as it comes in Plutonian, right? Pluto. So this is all during the point, chaos in reverse. This is the calm, Scorpio. This is the calm before you fucking take off. There's snake energy 3 times over on this read. And this is before you get ready to go out into life and gobble it all up and totally indulge in the positives of things. But Pluto in the reverse is that retrograde that we are currently experience with Aquarius, right? And I think that goes on to what, October, November. So that's until like your birthday, right? Somewhere in that ballpark. Let's take a look at these two cards. I'm very curious. The way they're all lining up. Scorpio 13, lightning. Like, even the book is upside down. Jesus. Cheese and crackers. All right, Scorpio, I want to go to yellow and lightning. Let's look at those. This Saturn, we know what Saturn is about for the most part. Spirit, the bells and the whistles. 13 and, oh, that's a 13 and 14 next to each other. 13 is the death card, Scorpio. What comes after that 14, which is temperance, which is healing, right? You're healing these things within. Pay attention to what you hear with your ears. Yellowing. It's in the reverse. Let me remind you. To ponder. Transitions as a teacher. Can't make it up if I wanted to. Aging, transitioning, and warning. Indicating transition, the yellowing leads us into the next phase of our alchemical work. Envision the yellowing as pages of a beloved novel or the ortray blanket. I know that word and I can't think of it. Anyhow, blanket of leaves and fall. This color seeps out to signify the beginning of the end, a return to zero. Even a deep bruise finds a yellow tint as it reaches its final phases of healing. In contrast, yellow can be the marker of long-awaited growth as seen in the first rays of the sun and the cheer of forsythia in February. Whatever its message, yellowing tells the truth. It leads us forward, like the vibrant canary in the mind, warning of what's to come. Take heed. The transition is here, whether by yoke or bile. How to respond is up to you. It's likely that you already know. Yellow rides a fine line in art, and the color is often interpreted as cheeriness covering turmoil, as seen in the late paintings of Van Gogh. Imagine a rainbow, and I mentioned rainbow from the very beginning, I think, wasn't it this reading? I think so. Imagine a rainbow with no yellow. The colors remain static, disconnected. The gift of yellow is the bridging, I said it earlier, of all phases, the full expression of life's spectrum. And you look at Sirius too, right? There's the yellow. There's that yellow again, Scorpio. And I think that's come out quite a bit for you and another sign. But the yellowing is in the reverse, right? The yellowing is in the reverse. And I'm honestly going to tell you, though, too, that even though it is in the reverse, I do feel like that's a positive thing, right? Because it's like the ending has occurred. The ending is over. That Saturnian ending in Pisces is now over. Aries, right? Saturn is sitting in Aries with this Saturn card. We learn to be again, and that 7, right? Our boundaries, what we've learned, what we've come to know, Spirit is saying what we've come to rectify in this lifetime as well is going to be of significance. Lightning, perfectionism, facade, hesitation. The stage of leucosis is a complex topic in alchemy. On the one hand, it represents purification of the materials. On the other hand, it's the phase in which the alchemist may mistake the work as complete. On the surface, everything seems perfect, pristine, well thought through, and quite complete. In actuality, the alchemist has been tricked by their own facade of perfection. Their work has hardly begun. Righteousness and fear are the great errors of leucosis. This card arrives to remind us to get our hands dirty. No one is separate from or above anyone else. Rather, every alchemist is a kid in the laboratory, tinkering away with the elements of their life. No more fretting over your next move, fearing how others will perceive you. It's time to crack open, become who you are. The world needs to see your true colors. Look at the bronchitis sculpture newborn from 1915. The wisdom of the dawn is to ponder. And from 1915, that breaks down to a 16, Scorpio, which is that of the tower. So Aries energy. I'm telling you, it all makes perfect sense. The blank canvas is a great example of leucosis. It's terrifying to start for fear of making a mistake. Today is the day. Make a mark, begin the work. And leucosis is related to the alchemical operation of calcinatio. Calcinatio, I don't know. If these cards appear together, it is a sign that things may have calcified, implying a kind of buildup or rigidity. So that didn't come out, so I don't think you're dealing with that. But Scorpio, this is like probably one of the biggest breakthroughs of transformation in your entire existence. Like that yellowing, the lightning, they both came out in the reverse position. That telling me like you are, I told you about being humble, right? That lightning is about being humble, this humble expression of oneself. We don't know it all. We are beginning a new lesson, a new cycle. We are, again, the student and the teacher in the same breath. Like, if we ever get so full of ourselves that we know it all and we are no longer teachable, we are the problem. You are both the student and the teacher in this cycle, Scorpio. And don't think that, one, you can't fuck it up, and two, don't think that everything you do, unless it's done in a perfectionism sort of view, that you've fucked it up. Cancerian energy tends to really want to perfectionize everything. In Scorpio, you can too. You can be very meticulous. Just live. Again, I've said it 100 times before. I'll say it 100 more times. It's about the experience. It's about the journey. It's not about A to B. Okay? It's not about A to B. It's about the experience. Let's clarify this Chariot and the Lovers. I'm going to try to wrap this up because this has turned into a pretty long reading, but all because it's so necessary. Every rose, Scorpio, look at this, rose, thorns, right? Every rose has a thorn, and I think that's actually come up. I know roses have come up in the recent past in your readings, so I'm not super surprised to see that. Firm, clear decisions coming through, independent. We ride at dawn, right? Like, off to the races. We are off, and that is the Chariot energy. You look at that. She's gone, and talk about the lightning going from the dark to the light. When you look at the Chariot, you've got the duality with one. The reality of it is, in the background, that gentleman on that Chariot, right? He has no reins. He doesn't hold control. He's just along for the ride and trust that his guidance is coming on a spiritual level for these two sphinxes to work together to move him forward. You could see this card as a bit of stillness, right? This independence, when it was tied to something else, there was no movement. When there was a stuckness of the duality, there was no movement. That was where the Four of Swords was taking place. That's where the healing was happening. Maybe that's where, someone a week ago went to the hospital, went to an ambulance, went to get the diagnosis, went to get, start to begin to understand something. That's when that initial ride took place. Then it stopped for healing, the Judgment, the Four of Swords. There's information, there's communication, there's understanding coming in. There's a final call being made. This independent is off on one's own, ready to ride again, ready to move forward, needing to move forward. There's wind in her hair. There's wind in the horse's hair. She's just holding on. She's ready for the ride, no matter what that looks like, good, bad, indifferent, alone. And when I say alone, that doesn't mean that she's alone. That simply means that she's ready for the way I see this is like riding through an old Western town, stopping at this saloon and that saloon. I don't know why that's the way that it shows up. But she's stopping along the way to integrate the differences of life into hers and see what works for her. She's alchemizing what is to come. Wide awake, clean, firm decisions that this is the way I go, leaving that space of the Two of Wands behind and ready to embark on something new. Beautiful, beautiful energy, Scorpio. The Chariot is leaving past old things that have held you up. The addictions, the toxic attachments, the initial encounter, being thankful for the change and the growth. Whew, that it's like no matter how difficult, I really want to say love partners have been. No matter how difficult other people, some people came into your life, Scorpio, and really challenged you. Some challenged you in love. Some challenged you in your ability to see yourself for who you were. Some people challenged you by telling you that you weren't enough. Other people said they supported you, but they didn't, but not in a malicious sort of way. Like, they made you have to do self-discovery. They made you dig fucking deep. And those lessons, man, they did not come without hurt. They did not come without pain. But they're there. It's your transformation, right? And now you're getting ready to take a risk. Some of you on love. The letter D could be of significance. The letter M, N, and D could be very important. This is some of you, side note, ladies out there, Could, for feminine health reasons, you could be choosing to have like IUDs or something removed as well. Like you realize like the health and well-being of your sacral chakra is of great importance, right? Like you're leaning into better health for yourself. And this isn't just like in the physical health, Scorpio, this is maternal health and well-being too. Going, I'm ready to create life, maybe for those of you in childbearing age. Others of you going, like, I trust that whatever's meant to be is going to be, but going, I have the right to make better health choices for myself. And I'm going to say this to you, and you could feel 1,000 different ways about this, but in time, you will see how you are backed in that. A little controversial here, right? But in some of the things that I'm saying, but necessary, Scorpio. And I think that you will understand what that transmutation looks like. Again, the need to burn the shit to the ground. You need to have the chaos to find your way out of it. Without the chaos, you can't get to this. You see all the noise, right? The blurred lines. And then he's got the earphones. He's very in one realm, right? He's narrowing in focus on something specific instead of listening to all the fuckery going on around him. The dramatics are not necessary, whatever that means. Lover's card for Scorpio. Moving forward, Spirit. What is this Lover's card? Pick two. Pick two? I don't know. Maybe you're picking two places or picking for vacation or something. Ascension. Scorpio, leveling up, promotion. Some of you could be getting promoted, but your next partner is leveled up. Like they level up before, your spouse. If you're in a long-term committed situation, your spouse, divine timing, could be leveling up and they're like, what's happening to me? And you're like, hey, get ready. Buckle up, baby cakes. Like you don't even realize what you're about to go through. What else for Scorpio? The Lover's card. Decisions. Honor, Scorpio. You're not going to piss with a single person who doesn't speak integrity. Like if they don't, like, I'm going to use this term and I've seen it come up not just in the headlines, but the NDAs, the non-disclosure agreements. Silence can no longer be bought. If somebody tried to hold control or silence you with money, gifts, going, hey, we don't have to talk about this. We're going to talk about this. You don't get to hold this over my head anymore. If somebody was malicious with you, they don't get to hold it over your head anymore. It doesn't go down that way. The guy will sing like a fucking canary. Yellow birds, right? I will sing like a canary. I will let out the warning cry. I will let everybody know. I will be that tower. I will send off shockwaves. I will blow the whistle. It was a matter of time. It was a matter of time. Spirit, no more fear of judgment, Scorpio. No more fear of your idea of judgment is I don't care. And it's not, Scorps, it's not that you're mean. It's like you've lost your filter. And, when you go back to being a child or you go back 30 years ago, wherever you were in life, kids don't have a filter. I was just talking to somebody yesterday about my kiddo, and I'm like, she doesn't have a filter. Like, she just says, I'm like, girl, you got to be a little more diplomatic. You got to, like, time and a place. And she just says it. Yes, Mom, your shoes are fucking ugly. Don't wear those out. It's that truthful best friend. Scorpio, you are your own truthful best friend. You are becoming that truthful best friend to others. And it implies what you're bringing towards you. This new journey begins because of the wisdom that you have gained, the life that you have experienced, the love, Ace of Cups, the love that you have lived. Your cup is full, Scorpio. When you speak that truth, your cup is full. Self-love, self-care, self-nurturing. I will sit on the beach by myself and drink mimosas and be completely happy. And what's meant to be a part of my life will be. And if it's not, that's okay. Spirit, a complete reset. Scorpio, I can't say enough. Look at this. Paradise, happiness and joy, playfulness, enjoying each other, honeymoon phase. This is a beautiful life. And if you are meeting with somebody in relationship, this is somebody who is, look at that, soulmate. They have worked on their cup. Their cup is full and they want to give it to you, Scorpio. They will prepare your coffee for you, Scorpio. They will love you for you, Scorpio. They are going to show up for you, Scorpio. And you are going to be a little cautious, but yet open to give. For some of you, this could just be a friend, right? This could be a job. But this was meant to come together after a period of healing. It was necessary. You had to go through all of these messed up situations that it was like learning through some sort of temptation. 0101 10 on the clock. You both had to have this enmeshment of understanding of toxicity and what it was to be without Five of Pentacles. That when you lean into things of temptation that are too good to be true, they often are, and they leave you without. And now you're learning how to do it for yourself. And the people around you are learning to do it for themselves. And maybe you'll be a teacher, and maybe you'll be a guide, and maybe you'll be a student. Maybe you will be all things. But Scorpio, that is what you're best at. You are great at being everybody's everything. But now you're learning how to be everything to you. And in turn, it's like Spirit sees this. They see the path that you've walked alone. They see what it's been. So if you're asking for a best friend to hang out with on Friday nights, they're coming. If you've asked for that person to love you unconditionally for all the right reasons, to be a partner, it's coming. And I'm going to say this in the comments, or for the comments section. I don't want to hear you're not interested. I don't want to hear that you're over it. I don't, and I don't mean to, I'm not trying to silence you. I want you to understand that. But have you done the healing work? Because if not, this is a message of healing for you so you can be there. Truly digging deeper than you've ever dug before. Go there. Be raw. Be open. Be emotional. Understand the lineage that brought you to this moment. Go deeper than you've ever gone before. Because that's what awaits you. There's not a single person on this planet, the most depraved fuckers to include, that as humans we all crave human connection. I don't care who you are. I don't care how hurt you've been. You're scared. We all crave human connection. It's a matter of not if we suppress it. Hard truth, but the truth. Scorpio. Teacher and student, you are all things. I'm leaving it there. Personal reads are open and available. I hope this was helpful to you. I'm sending you all so much love. Gemini, new moon will be out. Sorry this video was so long. Not sorry. Everything that needed to be here is here for you. Sending you love. See you soon.